Good morning, guys. I thought I'd bring you another art challenge. Today we're going to learn about and be inspired by Picasso. And remember that Picasso was a lifelong artist. So he did art his whole entire life. He did many different kinds of art. And today we're going to be learning about his collage pieces that he did. This is a great piece because it has the charcoal lines, it has pieces of pictures glued in there, and you can't exactly tell what it is. I see a guitar shape in there, maybe a wine bottle, kind of over here. I hope that's okay for you guys to see. Not a lot of color in there. You know, we like more colors. We're going to add some colors in today. And that's Picasso. Collage inspired a bunch of artists that we see today. One artist and author that we use a lot is Eric Carle. And what he did was he painted papers and then cut them up and used them to make different pictures. We love The Very Hungry Caterpillar, right? This was such a joyful and colorful book. All these are just little cut up pieces of paper put together. And when you're thinking of collage and bright colors and different textures together, definitely think of the rainbow fish. Just those little sparkly pieces in there. And then there's an illustrator out right now, and she has a couple books, I believe, and she's designed some clothing lines and some cloth. Like, it's been very interesting to look into her things. But look at these patches of color and texture. And the lines in here are really beautiful. This was my inspiration. I saw some art like this on Pinterest and was trying to see how we could adjust that to ours. I think zebras can be a little tricky, so I thought we would start with something a little bit easier. So this is a simple shape. This is a fish, and I've actually cut it out and taped it onto here. I'll glue it in a minute, but I wanted to be able to take it off and show you. If you wanted to do an animal, you could do a simple shape. So this is a circle or an oval. The lips, if you look at that, is a heart shape. I've added some fins for the tail, and then I cut that out. Or we could add a little bit more detail and level up. If you're in the older grades, this would be great. This is a sunset or a sunrise, maybe. Let's do sunrise. So I went in and I cut a bunch of blue paper to different shapes, and I even ripped some. I did more ripping of the paper up here, and I did yellow, orange, and red. So let me show you what I did, or what I used to get started with that today. Just some plain paper, and I just did a sketch on there. If you're doing the fish or any animal shape, you don't have to do a fish. Just put a rough sketch on there. If you can see, I didn't do any erasing. I didn't keep all of those lines, but I didn't do any erasing. I used those as guidelines as I went through. And then I did a rough sketch of the sunset or sunrise. I even thought about the different shapes that I wanted with the waves. Nothing too detailed at all. What I used to make this was plain paper, scissors. You need to ask if you need to, if you don't have scissors. I used a glue stick and some markers. But the most important piece of a collage is that printed paper or that colorful paper. And we're lucky enough that we have the ability to use lots of different things around us. You could use junk mail. This is a Costco magazine, and this I used lots of different parts so you could see it's all cut up. And then I had, I think this was HGTV magazine, and there's just lots of fun patterns and colors in here. And you can just look through there and see, you know, the different patterns and colors that you would like to use. So let's see, for the fish, I knew I wanted some bright colors. And I started just kind of, I saw that green, and that was actually just one page. I didn't care that it had words on it. I cut out different shapes, and I cut out, just kind of moved them around. And then glued them down. When I was finished with that, I went over with some markers and added some patterns. I didn't like that first pattern, so I went over it with a little different color. And I didn't worry about adding the magazine or the painted paper to the face. I just added some really light details there so that the focus would be on the little fish's face. And I'm going to glue that onto this paper actually. If you don't have a glue stick but you have some regular glue, that's fine. Use what you have, right? Oh, remember to push down the edges. I'll let that dry. All right, and then for the sunset, I really just went through and I pulled a bunch of colors out, and I was like, oh, that yellow would work really well here, and I found a lighter yellow, and I managed to find orange and blue, and I did cut those wavy lines for the blue paper and glued those down. And then what I want you to see, guys, is that I went over those papers and I added some detail in with the markers, some patterns over the top, some dash lines, some wavy lines, some crisscross lines. Because there were some white spots in there that was really taking away from how you would see the blue in this painting or this art. And my son, I couldn't find the exact right color, so I just cut out a piece of white magazine paper with some writing on it. I don't even know what the article was about. It doesn't matter because I wasn't using the words. And then I went over it with highlighter. I wanted it to be very bright. And I wanted the rays to be shining outward. But I didn't worry that my ripped lines were showing. That just added to the detail and the texture of our art. So you could run your hand over here and you can feel all the bumps from the different magazine lines. So let me show you what we've got here. I'll try to take some pictures and load them up so that you can see them in detail. Let's see, I'm having a little trouble lining these guys up straight. Okay, there we go. So remember, all you need is some magazines, some scissors if you have them, or you can just rip paper, glue stick or a glue bottle, markers, and some paper. Remember the artists that were inspired by today: Eric Carle and Picasso. And then the illustrator I was talking about earlier, I think I forgot to tell you her name. Her name was Melanie Miquez. And she's released a book in the last year. And it's just really fun to see artists that are creating right now. Okay, guys, that's it for the art challenge this week. I loved the videos that you sent in. They were so fun, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with this time. Thank you so much. Bye.